Welcome back, YouTube subscribers and viewers. It's your host with the most motos, Nate Jennings from Moto Plan 8 Handlebars, and I'm here at Frontline Eurosports with the General Manager, Chip Huff. We got a new bike, don't we?
We do.
And we just took this one out of the crate and did an unveiling for you, so now it's part 2, the overview of the 2020 Ducati V2. So we're going to start out with some of the main points that people always ask about a motorcycle when they're purchasing it, and we'll let Chip hit those main points for us.
Sure, yeah. So a few of the quick little specs that a lot of people want to know. The dry weight of this motorcycle is 388 pounds. The wet weight, 441 pounds. The seat height is roughly 33.1 inches.
Right on.
Pretty standard, pretty good, reasonable seat height.
Yeah, and that's the big tidbits for you. So let's get into the body and exterior of this motorcycle. Then we'll jump back into the engine with Chip, and I'll hit your instrumentation last to give you the full rundown of the new 2020 V2. So starting at the front, we're going to have our 17-inch wheel that's going to be featuring a 90-degree valve stem like we always love on our European motorcycles. Wrapped in Pirelli rubber, that's going to be the Pirelli Rosso Corsa 2s. That'll be front and rear for us. Rocking out Brembo brakes front and rear, but on the front we got our new monoblock 4.32s. The Showa suspension is 3-way adjustable on the front as our inverted forks. Inverted. Now moving to the back of the motorcycle, you'll see that our rear shock is a SOX that's fully adjustable, connected to a single-sided swing arm, now boasting a big, beautiful view of our rear tire and that Pirelli Rosso Corsa 2 on the back. What we got for power plant in there, Chip?
Well, speaking of power, you got to feed the power. So it has a 4.5-gallon tank, which fuels the 155 horsepower engine. It also boasts 76.7 foot-pounds of torque.
Whoa.
Exactly. And when you're getting that much torque, you got to hammer through the gears fast, so it's got a quick shift up and down. So you got a little throttle blip boop, boop, when you're coming down off the gears. It also transfers through the wet slipper clutch.
So is this engine controlled with any electronics aids on top of the clutch up shifting and downshifting?
Yes.
Oh yeah, well, what?
Track control, wheelie control, cornering ABS.
So I can hit the ABS full on at the lane now. Woo. That's what we like,
nice
safety. Excellent. What else we got with this new 2020 V2, Chip?
Well, on top of that, you've got 7,500 miles in between oil changes, and the valve clearance check is every 15,000 miles. So they're extending that out quite a bit. Not like it used to be.
So now we've reviewed the engine and transmission. Let's jump back into the instrumentation so you can get a full rundown of what this bike has to offer you for 2020. Now we move into our instrumentation. Give our key a little twist to the right there and cue everything up. On the right hand side, we're going to have our run cycle switch. Below that is our DRL, our daytime running lights high and low. We have a hazard light right below that. Working off that ride-by-wire, and we're on a set of Brembo master cylinders for the front braking system. You can see as well the Showa suspension and how it is 3-way adjustable through the portions for tension and compression up top. Steering stabilizer, our beautiful instrumentation, and over here is our left switch cube. We're going to have our high beam. We're going to have a constant high beam. We have our menu up and down switch, our mode selection and enter button, and our horn, as well as turn signals integrated into the mode button. To start out on the right side, we've got our daytime running light high or low. You can see in the front once I have the camera on that angle, and our high beam on, or our hazard lights on and off. Moving across, look at the instrumentation. Check that beautiful boy out there. We've got a timepiece on the top right, tachometer, gear indicator, and then where all of our ride mode settings are at. Engine brake control, Ducati quick shift, Ducati traction control, anti-lock brake system, Ducati wheelie control. Moving over to the left side over here where it says settings menu, we're going to go through that in a hot second, but you can see the arrow up and down. That's because we can toggle with this left switch cube menu button up and down. Got a side stand warning above that, and then we'll have our speed and our temperature on the far top left. So let's start going through the good stuff here. We're going to go through our settings, our main menu, which is going to be our odometer, our trip 1, consumption average, miles per gallon, average speed, trip time, air temperature, trip 2, consumption miles per gallon. Back to our settings menu. To get into our settings menu, we hit the mode button, which would be our turn signal cancel, or cancelization, as I like to go back to the old days. First, we're going to enter our riding mode. So we hit the enter button, and we can go up and down through different modes. We're going to take this thing into, let's take it to sport mode. Once we get into sport mode, we can hit the enter button again, and we have our engine. So we can play with our reduced power or full power. We got smooth or dynamic settings on there. Oh my goodness, look how beautiful that is. We're just going to back out, hit the menu button. We can go down to DTC, Ducati Traction Control. We enter into that. We've got our track, wet, and our road. We got off. We've got back. ABS, same thing. Now this is super cool. We've got road with cornering ABS front and rear. Oops. Then we have our track, which is going to give us slide by brake on the rear and cornering ABS front and rear. Then we go to full track mode, giving us only front ABS. We can back out of that beast and go down to our Ducati wheelie control, which we can't hit right now. Our engine brake control, we are setting with maximum brake or minimum brake with the modulation of this menu button. Ducati quick shift, it has up and down. You can turn that off if you desire, and setting it to a default. We're going to back out, and we're going to go down to our pen code. Pen code is something that you can modify yourself, so that's where you would do that. You have turning the lap timer on and off, backlighting, we have night, day, or auto. We have date and clock. Units of measurement, we can go in there and change our speed, temperature, consumption, all that good jazz to the measurements we prefer. We have a service reminder, tire calibration, daytime running lights, auto or manual, and turn indicators. We can go in and turn those auto or manual. Information, we can go in there and see our battery and RPM info. We're going to just back out of that, go back down to the exit, and we're back to our main screen. Left and right, you'll see flashing ABS light, your neutral light underneath of that. We have our high beam located at the top of that, and our turn signal at the very top. On the other side, top right, turn signal, daytime running light indicator, our traction control warning light, and our oil check light. And now that you've got to see our instrumentation, let's say thank you to Frontline Eurosports and Chip Huff that helped us take an opportunity to get an overview of the new motorcycle before a lot of you even get to see it in dealers. So thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you, Nate.
And now that you've got a full overview of this new 2020 Ducati V2, Chip and I are going to take her out and give you a first-person perspective of what it feels like to ride this machine. Until next time, thank you.
Thank you for viewing.